You're live.
I look, you ran here.
What was that? That you're downstairs?
Oh. So you just did 6 flights of stairs.
Yeah. It's like,
You're live.
I didn't see his pickup out there either.
You're good, Mark.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. For the record, I think we have a quorum, but we'll put that on the record in a moment as part of Nicole's introduction. Before we do that, let us look at the April 8th board meeting minutes, which I think everyone has a copy of.
Should be May 13th.
Are there any additions, corrections, or discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have such a motion? So, do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. In similar fashion, let us look at the financial reports, and I'll ask you to highlight anything that is unusual or special.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Well, we'll start out in the beginning of May. The cash on hand, we had $994,801. Invested funds of $1,513,621. We had some fees earned and interest on CDs and bank. Our normal expenses for the month, and then we ended up that month $973,96 in the bank in cash and $1,513,929 in invested funds. And then we'll go on over to June's cash on hand instead of going through the budget for May. We'll go to June cash on hand. We had our normal interest earned on the bank. We had management fees from both the BAC and the Business Center, and together that was $47,500. Our expenses are our normal, typical expenses. We have some legal fees and an insurance adjustment that you see in there as a credit. And then we ended up the month with $995,670 in cash on hand and $1,513,929 invested funds. And if you flip over to the budget as of June, we're actually doing well as far as, staying ahead of budget. We're halfway through the year as of the end of June, and as you see, we've only received 9.8% of our income, but we will be getting more of that in as the year goes on. And expenses were at 28.9%, and with the payroll added in, we're at 37.1%. So we haven't gone over on our expenses at all. Now that we're getting back to some more normalcy, we'll be spending more in line with what we budgeted. And that's it.
Any additions, corrections, or discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial statements as presented. Do I have such a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With that out of the way, I think we'll go through our introductions, and that way everybody can, or Nicole can learn what everybody's role is here. First, this is Nicole Hastings, who's been named for our board. And I'd ask her if she could give us a quick background, and then I'll ask everybody around the table and explain what they do here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Hastings. I'm a local real estate agent, mostly based here in Warsaw, but I will sell all over Wyoming County and beyond. My husband and I moved here in 2000 to Wyoming County. We raised 3 kids here, and we're deeply involved with the community. Always with the kids in sports, school. I was on the school board. And then there's some other boards around that I participate in as well. So looking forward to this new journey and looking forward to working with you all. And thanks for having me.
Joe, can you give us a little background?
Just to short up, Joe Gazowski, a former potato grower, rent my land out to a gentleman across the street. Former operation, former town supervisor, town gas style, and for 12 years. And I was appointed on his board for, I don't know how many years I'm here now, 4, 5, 6, whatever. I'm on a few other boards, soil and water, the name one of my favorites besides this one. And I'll leave that there comes along.
I think you're our senior member too. Isn't that it, Jim?
Please don't do that.
I mean that in length of service,
Be careful with that. Senior.
Go ahead.
Jim Rutowski, I live in Sinclair Pharmacy here in town. My family and I own 7 community pharmacies in North Cuba. I've done some real estate development, building years, and other projects here in cooperation with them in town.
Nicole, my name is Kevin Zanner. I'm the attorney for the IDA, and I'm a partner at Herbertson Klein Buffalo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Billy Proietti, or William Proietti. I'm a real estate developer out of Rochester, and pleasure to be here. I'm married, have a couple of children, Max and Mari. They're 12 and 14, and I'm excited about this new project. I was looking for some vacation properties, investment properties in the Rochester, Monroe County area. And came across this property, saw it, was very excited about it, and I'm looking forward to developing it and making it a tourist destination for a lot of folks to come down this way.
You're going to give us a quick presentation in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm Robin Marshallick. I'm the operations director for the IDA. I've been with the IDA a little over 15 years, and I handle all the reporting and required. Yeah, that's what signing all those documents and stuff for each year. So.
Hello, Nikki. Scott Gardner, Economic Development Specialist, part-time with the IDA. And my other hat, as you know, is president of the Chamber of Tourism Office.
Jennifer Tishbeck, program manager for the IDA and the Business Center. I've been here a little over 9 years and worked with a lot of small businesses, for new business startups or existing businesses that need a little help with growth.
We've had long meetings, a couple of them, so you know all about me. Don't be afraid to ask any question, no matter how crazy it might seem to you, because there are multiple agencies that we are involved with at the IDA, and a lot of times things can get kind of confusing with who's doing what, and that sort of thing. So, welcome. Glad to have you.
Nikki and I are neighbors. We actually moved here at the very same time. I moved back from where I was and we have been friends ever since. So, that's really all I have to add to that. You know more about me than I care to know.
And vice versa.
And you should ask Jim for his flow chart of all our initial agencies, groups, and organizations, because I've been here for a few years and I don't understand it.
Right.
I keep it on the desk so I can figure out what it is.
That's one thing making we've talked before about this before. It is a really unique organization, but it has a lot of moving parts. And Jim's been great to have for the resource center displayed.
I'm Mark Gadd. I've been on this board for about 7 years, I think. And before that, I was on bench in Wyoming County, DA before that. And I'm somewhat semi-unemployed now. I don't know quite how to put it, but I'm trying hard to not be too employed. Okay. And I think we're ready to learn about the Letchworth Valley campus. Okay. And resort. Okay.
Well, I'll try not to bore you, but I just want to run through a few slides with you and show you a little bit about the project.
You want us to dim the lights a little?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
could, that'd be great.
Is that good? Want
Yeah,
to drop
that's
that in
good,
too,
that's
or?
good.
No,
That's good. So this was, obviously, after looking at the property, obviously, we created this research marketing program. So we could actually dig in and find out, really what this industry was about and spend some time with it. But what we found out that it's a huge market opportunity. When you look at the market, it's obviously continued to grow in it. And I think everybody knows that the camping industry is growing and it's continuing to grow. So you can see there's been a constant change from year to year. Our addressable market, we basically got about 17 upstate New York counties, including Ontario, Canada, and the population is, it's basically there. It's there for the taking. All we have to do is act on it. We've got top 4 players that only have about 22% of the revenue, so there's room for growth. When you look at what Americans spend, as far as their outdoor activities, camping #1, right on the top of the list. $166 billion being spent annually. So it's pretty impressive when you look at it that way. Some of the target markets, obviously, again, we look at Rochester and Buffalo, starting, and those were some of the immediate markets we looked at. Of course, then we look south towards Jamestown and the other surrounding areas, the other markets as well, the other counties. When you look at our location, from that aspect, we're really in a great location because most campers and a lot of campers, the preferred distance that they want to travel is about an hour away. So we're really in a great place. Not only that, but we obviously have, we're close to Letchworth State Park, which is an iconic park, getting about 650 to 800,000 visitors a year. So it's, and we can draw for that too as well because they've got different events. They have a ton of events. Wyoming County Fair, I was visiting the town of Pike the other day, and they said there's a lot of people that would love to just know about it. So they've invited me to be in the parade, I think. I think. But you can see where a lot of people, when you look at it from that last little graph there, where 35% of people who camp want to be anywhere from around 50 miles. So we're anywhere in that 50 to 100 miles to 150 miles. We're really in a great place to draw from that. The opportunities that we have are tremendous. Millennials are the big future of our camping market. They're about 44%. Some of the campers, obviously, the breakdown, there's more generations. You can see there's new campers. The industry, the RV industry has grown tremendously as well. So now that's bringing a whole bunch of brand new. COVID did a lot for campers, and it really brought into a lot of different campers, new campers that will, since they invested in campers, they don't want to use them, and so we're in that place. Some of the market issues that we saw, some of the big problems we saw was too few 50-amp sites. A lot of these new campers require a 50-amp service. Will help us tremendously. There's too few filter sites. Sites are short on length. Sometimes, and we've looked at all that. We have this brand new space where we're looking at. It's just about 26 acres, and it's just wide open for development. So we're going to put some really nice RV spots there. So everything will be up to brand new. All the infrastructure will be brand new. The Wi-Fi will be brand new. So things that people really want, we're going to have. We'll have an online reservation system that's second to none. I went to a conference back in January and learned about a bunch of different online services and reservation services. There's a lot more depth and a lot more reach. When you look at some of the factors of what makes a great campground, 100% of it is campground atmosphere. So we know that, we'll develop that, we'll make sure that people have that feeling that they've got a real campground atmosphere. Everything from activities, because when you look at it from that particular site, you've got a 26-acre lake. You got a famous Wiskoy Creek coming through the property. So it's really magical when you look at some of the features that that particular site has. So we'll benefit out. We'll look at that. Obviously, we're gonna make that happen. Our value propositions, obviously, is we're gonna upgrade cabins. We have 10 cabins there now. They're all rustic, but we're gonna renovate those, make them a little nicer. We have some plans for some RV sites near the lake. That's like a phase 3 process. But we're gonna upgrade some of the facilities that are currently there. We have an amenity we have a current bathhouse that needs an update. We're gonna update that. So we're gonna make some changes, add playgrounds and things of that nature that'll make the activity features of the campground a lot smoother and cleaner. We have a web presence now, but what we'll do is when we have that new reservation system, that website will be real time. It'll lock in with our online reservations. It'll be real time. So if somebody's standing there at the desk and they want to make a reservation, and somebody online wants that same spot, we'll know that in real time. So pretty good stuff. Just pictures, lots of pictures. People like images. They like those types of things. So we'll have that stuff. We'll be mobile. So everything that you can see on your computer, you'll be able to see on your website, on your phone as well. More core value propositions. Because I've been involved in the advertising industry for quite some time. We came up with a few little fun little slogans: campfire nights, starry nights. What's some more fun? Think outside of us, or think outside with us. No box required. Little things that give us sort of an idea about how we can market and draw people in. I mean, that's the biggest thing we want to do. Some of our competitors, if you go from Rochester, you go through Geneseo, you come 39 straight down, you're right there. So it's very close and very easy to get to. No magic there. We have a lot of experience with social media. I do personally. So we're gonna really use that facility. We did some Facebook tests already, and it was enterprising. It was really fun to see it. Some of our competition, obviously Letchworth, Jellystone, KOA, that Houghton and Adventure Bound. We've looked at those. There's some great campgrounds. They're obviously doing very well. There's some of their advantages, some of their weaknesses. We've looked at all that. We can spend time after time. So these are some of the park features. We did some of the systems, looked at those things, saw what they did, what they had compared to what we could do. So we look at that as well. Why we're 10 times better, we look at new infrastructure, updated facilities, latest Wi-Fi technology, a lake and a creek. We'll do introductory pricing, repeat incentives, referral incentives, things like that that can make it palatable for people to come back, because what we want is repeat business. We've always, I've seen basically already in just some of the requests and some of the notifications we've gotten online from people, the first thing that came out of their mouth was, do you have seasonal sites? Because that means that they want to be there for a period of time. We'll do some fun stuff. We plan on doing some wedding venues. One of the guys that's on my board is one of the biggest caterers out of Livingston County. He does a ton of weddings. We've already been to the site. We've already talked about it. So we'll do some destination wedding work, all kinds of stuff like that. Sort of our business model. We look at all these different streams. We look at the cost to acquire customers. We look at lifetime value. We look at key revenue streams, things like that. We'll sell ice. We'll sell propane. We'll rent canoes. We'll do those types of things too that can keep that revenue flowing. Just a basic cost to customer to the LTV. Basically, we look at it and just try to balance those things out for us. So we look at things like this at our net margins, and I actually think after working this a little bit farther, I think our net margins will be just a little bit higher than that. We could be at anywhere in the 40% mark. Projections, here's our team. We've got a team of people. Our dream team is myself. We have our accountants who's on the team as well, because they help us. Mark Washaw, he's a chief commercial officer of Flower City Union Professional Soccer Club. They're already talking to us about doing soccer camps and bringing kids down, doing those kinds of things. We have a soccer field there as well that needs to be mowed. It's huge, but yeah. I've talked to Wayne Meter about maybe mowing that for us. This is Eric Calavecchio. He works with Chase. We bounce things off of him in terms of our construction and things that we're going to be doing, how we're spending our money and things like that. So he's on our team as well. This is Al Johnson. He's a consultant was a big consultant for Deloitte Touche. He became independent now. He's worked with a lot of hotel operation, how we're doing reservations, how we're handling customer service, things like that. And this is Joey Tochka, who is also the owner of Party Man Catering. He's the fellow I talked to about in terms of bringing the wedding business, destination weddings, and he was telling me that, he says, if you advertise this downstate, he said, don't be surprised if someone wants to rent the whole place for a couple $100,000 and do it. So he went, okay. So just a brief overview of that. And just a real quick, I'll just show you a little bit about what we're doing marketing-wise. I'll show you a couple of movies here. They're quick. They're about 15 seconds. But this is on social media. We did this particular quick little ad. This was one of the first ones we did as a test market. We decided that it would be fun to do. And we put it out there. And surprisingly, we had quite a few engagements with it. Let me see if we can get this into play. What? Okay, there was the end of it. How was that? That was quick. Not that one. I'll go back. So, there we go. Try this again. I know we can do this. When you put things on social media, it's got to be quick. And you'll just keep playing. If you got this in your feed on social media, it will just keep playing over and over in front of you. Which is, I guess some people, if they want to see it again, they can easily. But we did pretty well with this particular list. We spent 5 days on it. This is a test market. And we were basically doing pretty well with it in terms of just the overall response we got from it. This one as well. Yeah, and there's another one. For media for millennials specifically, we're just trying to reach out to those guys and see what they were about. So let's see if we can get that up real quick.
It's working.
I know, he's going to do that. So we'll continue to do those kinds of things. We've already been people from different camping groups that are on Facebook are sharing us, and they're putting the word out there about it. So it's kind of, it's you can promote it, we can boost it, we can spend the money. These were just test markets just to see what we did. We didn't spend very much money. I think the first one was $25, and the second one we spent like $40. And just imagine if we spent, a lot more on it, which our ad budgets do call for. Once we're engaged, we'll start spending a lot more in terms of bringing people from other areas down there. So. We did a little, one last thing I'll show you real quick. Bring that up. So this was just a readout. What we did is we asked people on that very first ad that I showed you, what we asked people to do is we sent them to our website. From Facebook, we sent them to the website. So the conversion rate was pretty good for that 1 week that we ran it. And this is what we got out of it. We got over 60 people that signed up with us and it gives us sort of the longitude and the latitude. But it came up, then once we ran some of those numbers, 85.4% were from upstate New York, including counties, Erie, Allegheny, Cataract, Steuben, Chautauqua, Niagara, Orleans, Genesee, Wayne, and Yates County. And some of them came as far as Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. As you can see here, there's Pennsylvania, there's New Jersey, Florida again, Ohio. And that's just from a 5-day run. Imagine and areas that we could bring in to see the area. And we'll piggyback stuff off of Letchworth as well, because I think they have a ton of events. Well, that was just Facebook. So we'll use other social media. We use Instagram as well. Those are pretty popular platforms. Okay. I'm working with a company out of Winnipeg, Canada. They're the Navy group. So they're doing a professional, this is a professional site analysis right now. And what they're going to do for me is they're basically going to take everything that they know. They're looking into all the metrics of the site. And this is why I want to talk to soil and water conservation, because we want to get some more, detailed information. If you look here, this is where we're going to do new RV sites. This is pretty wide open right here. It's been a cornfield for a while. It's what Wayne Meter has been planting there for a couple of years now. This represents, of course, the lake, Wiscoit Creek running through here. These are the property lines here. As you can see, this black line that runs along here. This is all the property lines. This is our current roads that you have in here. We have, this is going to be future, this will be tent area and maybe possibly future RVs. We'll start out with the tent area first because it's wooded, it's beautiful, it's nice. It should be a real nice feature. This is right here, this would be Cedar Lodge. This is the lodge that has a commercial kitchen, very large conference room or ballroom, if you will, where we can host weddings. We can seat 100 people there. These are two cabins right here that hold 16 people each, so about 32. So if we did have a group that wanted to come, we could probably, like a wedding group, we could possibly put them in here. If we had a youth group that wanted to come in, we could put them there as well. Our cabins are situated over here. There's 10 of them, and there's a bathhouse here. And currently, we even I have some people that are coming in. They're coming in August, and they're potentially bringing a new film here, a movie. It's a Christian film. It's a sequel to The Farmer and the Bell, and it takes place on campground. So they're looking at campground as a potential site, which I told them we could not only house you, we could feed you as well, because we have a kitchen. Because usually when you do film production, people are on location for a while, there's craft service, there's location fees that they pay, there's things like that, but they'll bring in those extra dollars. And I know these people very well from my former business as well. So hopefully they're gonna, grab onto it. They've seen pictures of it and love it. Now they want to visit and see it. So we've got some things obviously planned here, upgrading this whole facility, making it really a special place. About it. Navy Group, this is the initial site analysis. What comes after this then is a master plan, which will be drawn out. I'll have that. And we'll use that as our guide to the future for this property. Use that as our guide to the future for this property.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Billy.
Sure, welcome.
All right. If you want Billy to stay during the presentation of his application, should we excuse him? Anyways, got some other business in the building to take care of.
I'd like to, yeah. If I could, can I just unplug this one?
But just on Sunday morning, Letchworth, the name Letchworth State Park, I don't know if you saw that, the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
CBS.
I don't know the name of the show.
CBS Sunday morning.
Sunday morning,
Yeah.
okay. They always have a nature thing at the very end. And they talked about Western New York, Letchworth State Park, and all the bald eagles and
Yeah.
little eagles are going to fly.
We have a resident bald eagle. Yes, I saw him the other day, and I was like amazed. Yeah, he's fishing the lake. Yeah, oh yeah.
He's got his own reserve, right?
Yeah, the little bass, we have little bass and sunfish. Yeah, they hover toward the top, so he's grabbing.
Right.
Yeah, he's beautiful to watch.
The other question I have is, personally interested, are you going to be open in the winter?
Well, we've got a few things planned for the winter.
I saw a snowmobile there, that's where I'm coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna test that. We're gonna test that. We're gonna be doing a bit of construction, in the fall and winter. So we'll see how that goes. The RV sites are planned, during we can work until we have blizzards. So we'll go as long as we can. We'll see how that plays out. But in the winter, following winters, yes, I would say that for sure.
My very first visit with Billy over at the campground was in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And the snow was knee-deep, and the wind was whistling through there pretty good.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Well, thank you all for
Thank you.
obliging.
If you would like to stay, fine, but if you've got to be elsewhere, we will go forward without you on the application.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go talk to Soil Conservation and
Yeah.
try to get some information.
Yeah, he's looking for some topo maps.
Thank you very much for doing, that's a nice presentation you did there.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Billy.
You're welcome, Mark. Thank you. Just getting myself out of here.
So we turn then to 4A. And I'll ask Jim to go through this quickly.
Let Billy out here, so we'll do that later.
Yeah, Robin put together a one-page summary, but I think we really don't need to read that based on his presentation. I think he gave you a lot of information during that. There's also some pages from his application in here. What Billy is really looking for is the full gamut of IDA incentives. The sales tax, mortgage recording tax, and the real property tax. We are positioning this as a tourism destination pilot, so it would be a 15-year pilot. And we have talked extensively with the developer about how he needs to make sure that is documented, that it's a tourism destination project. And after talking with Kevin, we've asked him to provide, he's done a lot of marketing and research, as you can see, but he has to be able to market and bring in customers from outside of the Finger Lakes region where Wyoming County is located. So a lot of his customers, as he pointed out, are coming from Buffalo and Canada. We just need some documentation to support that, and he's working on that for us. So it should be an easy fit for the tourism destination pilot. I think if you look down through here to like the page 7, you can see his total project cost. The acquisition of the property is $642,000, and then the balance will be actually the project cost for the improvements, which are $589,500. At our next meeting at the Business Assistant Corporation, he's also the loan request to talk about then. But essentially, what we're looking for today is authorization for a public hearing. Because as you can see on the back page of this application here, the cost benefits are going to be greater than $100,000. And you can see the breakdown of what the estimated incentives are going to be. So we're seeking a motion from the board to authorize us to do a public hearing and get that out of the way and bring this project back at the next meeting.
What's the timing? I'm sorry, Joe. What's the timing on this?
He actually would like to start this fall.
This one.
He has the property under contract.
It is.
So it's not closed yet.
It's contingent upon financing.
And then we'll talk a little bit more about that at the next meeting as well.
I'll move that motion, Judge. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
I assume there were no, I didn't hear any names, just for. Okay, let's turn to 4B for Carl Draskow. Again, Jim, I'll ask you to go through that.
Yeah, in your packet is a amended resolution that we had, that Kevin put together on behalf of the Draskow project. This board had previously approved a project under the name Draskow Inc. We have later learned from Mr. Draskow that he himself personally is owner of the property. And so subsequently, we wanted to make sure we got Carl Draskow personally engaged into the full resolution. So both entities will be represented. So it's just a simple amendment of the original resolution.
Do I have a motion to pass the resolution, the mandatory resolution, I should say, as presented? Second? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, 4C.
Yes, this, Mr. Chairman, is a request from JC Equipment, the whole building solution project down in South Warsaw. As you know, this project got delayed significantly by some time that was required to clean up some of the tax issues that the previous owner had with the state, as well as getting the property transferred to JC Equipment. And so subsequently, the building got delayed in its construction. So really the request is from the owners of Cole Building Solutions to essentially extend the sales tax exemption for another year. And if you've been by there, you can see they have made some significant progress with the project. The walls are up and the windows are done and the parking lot's done, but the inside is still remains to be done.
There's no trees on the roof.
Just gonna say.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, it's very sharp.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
the
know.
My,
I don't go
he
there.
needs a full year exemption. Is how much work needs to be done inside?
It's just to be safe. I mean, if you want a lesser time, we could do a lesser time.
I just, because on the outside, it looks like he's 95 or more % done. I just a comment.
Well, I think the other thing I have to keep in mind is, you know, he's also going to be doing stuff to the project related to the businesses he's bringing in there, which includes the overhead doors and things that are manufacturing. So this would just give them a little cushion.
I'll go with that.
Sure, second.
All in favor?
Second.
Right. Carrie and Jim, can you give us your report?
Yeah, I'll just run some updates on some economic development projects. Still working with the new owners of Cole's old Bolt Livery over there on the West Lake Road in Curry. Actually, it's on Silver Road. The old Cole's old livery that they're making plans to do improvements, including creating campground picnic area. They're talking about watercrest rentals, cabins, overnight lodging, possibly an Airbnb type thing. They're still in the planning process, but the project is still moving forward. Just wanted to update the board on the Sunview East Solar Project in the town of Castile. The board had previously authorized us to do a public hearing. We delayed that while we waited for the community host agreement to get signed because we needed to share what the incentives were going to be with the public when we began the public hearing. Finally got that under our belt, and then we scheduled the public hearing to be a virtual one, and then the governor revoked his executive orders saying you can't do virtual meetings anymore. So we had to reschedule it again, so now it's an in-person meeting that's going to be scheduled for July 15th at the town hall.
It's the, Jim, it's the 22nd. Remember,
22nd.
because of the holiday weekend last weekend, we went to publish it and they weren't gonna let us publish it in the paper till the 8th, and that wasn't gonna give us a 10-day notice. We had to change it to the 22nd. It is
So
the
we're gonna send
22nd.
We're gonna send the bill to governor for the extra publication costs that we had to put in the paper. If the board's all right with that. A microbrewery project proposed in the town of Arcade. The project is gonna involve, retrofitting an existing building that will be used for manufacturing of beer. They're gonna do some wholesale as well as sell some, product in-house. I've been working with council to make sure that the project as proposed is going to be fit and be eligible because it does have a retail component to it, which we're prohibited from doing anything. The total project cost, how's this work out? 1/3 retail is acceptable.
Up to 1/3.
Right, up to 1/3. So the majority of the project cost, 2/3, has to come in as non-retail to be eligible for IDA. So we're working through that. Also working with the bank on financing, and I think we're going to do some joint financing with them through the Business Assistance Corporation Gain Loan Fund because it's kind of an ag-related production facility. So they'll be able to access some of those gain dollars. 150,000, I think, is available currently at an interest rate of 1%. So it could be a very attractive loan as well. I met with Morton Salt in Silver Springs. They're proposing building a new warehouse facility, 30,000 square feet. Right now, the arrangements they have for warehousing are pretty much all off-site, and it gets very costly for them for logistics and storage. And so they're going to bring their warehouse facility all back in on-site and ship directly from customers from there. It's going to be a project that they're going to try to get started this fall, but I assume they're going to come in for IDA assistance. I met with the general manager and explained all the IDA help that could be available to help move the project forward. So he seemed interested in that. I also met with the owner of the hotel in the village of Arcade. This is the old hotel, not the new one that we're trying to recruit. Right on the corner of Route 98 and 39. He's proposing to do some new development there, including putting in an outdoor bar and seating at the rear of the hotel, as well as convert the old hotel rooms into like 4 apartments. Kind of an interesting project. I'm not sure if it's all going to be. He's not ready to move on the apartments yet, but I don't see any involvement from the ideation standpoint other than maybe some financing because what he's proposing out back is strictly all retail. Also, I want to let you know that the Steel Avenue Business Park that we own, the 28 acres in the village of Arcade, I've submitted it for 2 project leads to the Greater Rochester Enterprise. One of them is for an advanced manufacturer that wants to build a 250,000 square foot building. I have not heard back whether they want to come for a visit on that one yet. The second project that I submitted the site for was a project called, they have all these code names, Project Discover. And it's a food and beverage manufacturer looking for 15 acres, and they too want to build a building that they're about 45,000 square feet. And the nice thing about the second lead is they have a preference to be near dairy farms. So that shows pretty well.
What was the name of it? I missed.
Project Discover.
Okay, but we don't know what the company.
No, they don't give names. It's just a food and beverage manufacturer. But for both of these leads, the infrastructure lines up very nicely with the needs they've identified. They send out, here's an advanced manufacturer that wants so many gallons of water per day, and so much wastewater, and so much electricity. So everything for these 2, like I said, it lines up really nice.
Do they ever ask you to sign an agreement on this? I was reading something about agencies, not necessarily an IDA, have been presented to us.
Yeah, it is common for some of the larger projects. Then I promised to give an update on the Great Lake Cheese Project, the one in Cuba that we were trying to get here in Wyoming County. The site that we had submitted is located in the Tri-County Business Park. Majority of the land is in Erie County. There's 27 acres that's in Wyoming County. They were interested enough in the site that they had their engineering firm draw up a concept of where the building could be located on the site. And then they gave us some marching orders to identify how and at what cost we could get infrastructure there to meet their needs for water and wastewater, electricity, gas. And so I worked with the Village of Arcade and Clark Patterson engineers up with some preliminary dollar figures. And we're in the neighborhood of about $9 million. And while we were working on getting those cost estimates put together, I got a news break across my email that they said Great Lakes Cheese has decided they're going to locate in the town or village of Franklinville, town of Franklinville, and in Catarocts County. So last I knew, they've been working with the Catarocts County IDA, and things seem to be going along okay. But if you know this project and its history, it is bounced around all over upstate New York. And as Tom can attest to, it's vital that that project stay here in order to preserve our dairy production and our other ag-related businesses that we have here in this county, because it would be a tremendous loss to take up here.
It would be a disaster, and they know that. But regarding that, the gentleman that has that, I don't understand how Franklinville would be any more advantageous or less expensive than the Tri-County area. What's their advantage?
I don't know what they have for, water, wastewater, electricity, all of them.
Hard to believe it'd be.
I would think it would be I would think it would compare, because they don't have hydropower like Arcade has. I don't believe they have the capacity to look at Arcade dams for water, wastewater either.
I think from a general perspective, it'd be awesome to have it in Wyoming County. To have it anywhere else than New York State would be a disaster. And that's 100, and they're taking about 100 loads of milk a day. That's a big cheese plant for out here. They're expanding to 150. And that would be just terrific for dairy farmers in New York State. We have a terrible oversupply situation. And the nature of the dairy business is you've got to expand. I mean, like it or not, that's the way it is. Growth is part of everybody's business, and dairies do it really, really well. And when you don't have the capacity to produce that milk in the community, you have to ship it out of state or in a different location, or you send it to a powder plant with one of the diesel plants. And those are much lower prices, and it hurts everyone. I know enough about Jason. He's a really good guy, and he's very ambitious. Terrific family. How that works better than he's not Arcade since Sardinia, so he's right there. That's where his farm is anyway. Yeah. And, but to lose it to another state would be catastrophic.
Yeah, I mean, the saving grace is Franklinville is a short commute from people, and they're looking to preserve their workforce as well as this promotion.
It is about 20 miles difference, you think? Is that what you said?
I would say 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah. So 20 minutes to go to Franklinville from Cuba. How about to go to the site that's possible for us?
40, 45.
40. It's not impossible.
So we're still hanging in there. If something should change, we've done a lot of research and we've got some things lined up. So the only utility that I have not heard back from is National Fuel. I don't know what they're doing. I think this company has bounced around so much that National Fuel just finally got to, you guys have tried to hope so many times. You want me to look at gas here and there and everywhere. But,
They're definitely building, they're definitely leaving Allegheny County, at least from that site. But we're not completely out. It might be fourth down on the R11 yard line, we're down by a touchdown.
the clock's running out, right?
But, Jim Kelly might be coming back.
Okay, so that's where we are on that, and then just some other quick activities. The Silver Lake dredging project for the outlet is moving forward. The group, the committee that's working on the project made a final decision that the sediment from the dredging project are done. There were several areas, there were different ideas of where that dredging stuff could go. most of them prohibit the reuse of the land where it might go, including you can't spread it out farmland, even though that's where most of it came from to begin with. But right now, the committee and the state agrees with this. They're going to make a natural barrier in the lake near where the DEC has their wildlife refuge on the north end of the lake. So the DEC is okay with that, and that's where that project is moving from. With the exception of the sediments that are down closer to the dam on Federal Street, that's where the metal counts and the lead contaminants are a little bit higher because everything is settled in there. Those sediments will be taken out and those will be disposed of. So things are moving forward with that. Steve Perkins is going to continue running this project, even though he has officially retired. But he retired from the health department. He's hanging on to the water projects that he's been working on through the Water Resource Agency.
What does that affect?
The retirement is done, right, Scott?
I thought we told him he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, he didn't listen to us. And a couple other things, I'm still the chair of the Economic Development Advisory Committee for the Genesee Finger Lakes region, so all the IDAs from all 9 counties get together every quarter and talk about several things. I just wanted to identify a few regional things that are coming out of that. One that we have through our Business Assistance Corporation is so successful. We're trying to get that recapitalized, get some more money into it, because we're always running close to running out of our money. In fact, we can do a $200,000 loan, and for a case like Billy, who could use all 200, we only have 150. And it has to be an ag-related project, or not Billy, I'm sorry, the micro program. And then the other regional initiative, I have learned that the Public Service Commission is going to be contracting with a broadband consulting group out of Rochester to do a regional survey of broadband to find out who has what and who doesn't and at what speeds. That's something that is drastically been needed to analyze for a long time.
I remember familiar ring to that. About 5 years ago?
Joe brought this up 25 years ago. I'm not kidding. We got the Farmland Protection Board. I was sitting through a meeting and
That's what I talked about when I was first on the board of supervisors,
it's just,
way back.
The nice thing is at least the PSC is going to put the bill on it.
well, Nikki and I could attest that the internet stinks.
There is none.
$170 a month I pay for satellite, because I have to, because I work out of the house. And it stinks. I gotta shut it off every night or I'll run out of data. It's really slow.
My kids try to skate.
Well, thankfully, my kids are all out of the house, but when they come home, yeah.
I had an online college student all last year with horrible internet and the husband that worked at home.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
And the last thing I want to point out, I'm along with Bill Strasser for Wyoming, I'm a co-chair with him on the Ag and Food Processing Work Team for the Regional Economic Development Council for the state. And we hadn't met for a long time. We finally pulled a meeting together here recently, and we threw our support behind trying to find some additional resources for an organization called Grow New York, which is a business competition, if you will, for top prize of $1 million for ag and food related startups and things of that nature. So we're swimming our way behind that thing because it's a very important program. I'm also involved on the committee for that organization as well. And then we also helped provide some information for New York State so they could put together a fancy annual report showing all the things that have happened in the previous year from the state's perspective. So that's my report.
Any discussion, any other business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Aye. The next meeting will be August 12th at 2:30. Let us move immediately to the VAC board meeting.
Oh.
We're going to be sitting.
We gotta unplug and plug back in.
Oh,
Mr. Chairman.
Do we have any idea if anybody ever watches these?